So coming into whatever restful supine position feels good for you. Again, I like the pillow kind of more underneath my thighs than the knees itself. It gives a bit more support for my low back. You could always have your block blanket or pillow underneath your head for support for your neck as well. Comfortable position for your arms. They could be resting over your body, out beside you, palms upwards, further away, maybe a wide A or T position. Give yourself a moment to get out any little small movements that you might need to feel comfortable or rested here in this space. Any last twitches, adjustments into hips, shoulders, arms, and legs. And then once you feel ready, dropping right into your breath, allowing your eyes to close softly. Start to deepen your inhales and exhales. Just for now, noticing the sensation of your breath as it moves through your body. The gentle caress of air through each nasal passage. The coolness, texture of the air as it moves down the back of your throat. Maybe noticing the weight, coolness of the air, the same texture as it fills your lungs. Feeling the expansion from navel to collarbones, front to back and side to side. Feel the sensations of the out breath as well. The gentle release of air as the navel pulls towards the back of your spine. The now warm air as it moves up the back of your throat. Once again, caressing the nasal passages. The soft brush of warm air across your upper lip. Continue to notice the sensations of each breath in and each breath out. And allow the awareness of your breath to take you deeper into your body. Taking a moment to scan. Checking for areas that might feel a bit tired today. Maybe sore, stiff, or tender. As well, bringing awareness to areas that might feel stronger, more alive, energetic, supple. Using those areas to help support the ones that might not feel as full of energy. Just take a few more breaths here. Allowing the rhythm of your breath to continue to even until eventually each full breath in, same length as each full breath out. And each full cycle of breath is the same length as the one before and the same length as the one after. Notice if there's any tension that can be released anywhere from your body, hips, shoulders, glutes, arms. Now placing the pads of your thumbs against the pads of your index fingers. Start to draw soft circles of your thumbs around your index fingers. Feeling the sensation of touch, pattern, individuality of your fingerprints. Moving thumbs to middle fingers. Noticing a difference in sensation, movement, texture. Thumbs to your ring fingers. Thumbs to your pinkies. Slowly moving back upwards, thumbs to ring, middle, and index. Stretch your fingers nice and long, wide, stretching the skin between each finger. And then slowly curl your hands into fists, and you'll flex those fists back and forth, side to side, and then draw circles with your fists, warming up through your wrists. Bring your awareness down towards your feet now, wiggle your toes. Flex and point your feet, circle ankles, wrists. At any point, feel free to keep your eyes closed. If you'd like to introduce some sight, let your eyes slowly start to blink open. Inhale, reach your arms over your head. Take a big stretch from your fingers to your toes. Maybe feeling the low back lift slightly. Take one more big breath in here. As you exhale, just bend your right knee and bring your right knee up into your chest. You can interlace or stack your fingers in front of the left knee, just below the kneecap itself, so more towards the top of the shin. Take a big breath in, and then as you exhale, try to hug your right knee a little deeper towards your outer right rib cage. As you inhale, release the pressure against the knee. And then again, exhale, hug the knee in deeper. We're going to do that 2 more times with the breath. Inhale, gently releasing the tension and pressure from the knee. And then exhale, hugging the knee deeper towards the chest. 1 more time, inhale. And exhale. Hold the knee here. And we'll draw a few small circles of your knee around your hip, keeping the range of motion small and controlled, the movement slow. So you actually feel the sensation of this movement here, taking the circles in the other direction, encouraging some blood flow through the hip flexors, the low back. And then 1 more time, hug your right knee into your chest. As you inhale, extend your right leg forwards to meet your left. Reach both arms back up over your head. Again, maybe a little arch of the low back as you stretch from fingers to toes. Next, exhale, slowly flatten the low back into the mat as you bring your left knee into your chest. Again, you can interlace fingers or stack palms. If you're interlacing, be aware of pulling against the knuckles. You want to keep the interlacing light so we're not stretching or pulling on the knuckles themselves. Left knee. As you exhale, draw your left knee deeper into your chest. Again, we're going to do that a few more times. Inhale, releasing the tension from the knee. Exhale, draw the knee deeper towards the rib cage. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Once again, inhale. Now as you hug the left knee deeper into the chest, we'll pause here, draw a few circles. Nice, slow, small, controlled circles. Feeling the movement in the hip. And then circles back in the other direction. Holding the knee at center, give it 1 more hug. Once again, inhale, extend your left leg forwards, arms overhead. Feeling that gentle lift of the low spine as you stretch. Now as you exhale, start to flatten the spine into the floor. We'll bring both knees now into your chest. Take each hand to the front of each one of your knees. And just like we did individually, you're going to inhale, take the knees slightly forwards towards the hips. As you exhale, hug the knees into the belly and chest. Inhale, shift the knees slightly forwards. Exhale, bring the knees back in. I'm going to do 2 more here. Inhale. And exhale. Again, inhale. And exhale. This time, holding the knees into the chest. Palms to the top of your kneecaps. Draw circles with your knees together as if you were circling the kneecaps on the ceiling. Knees around hips to massage into your low back. taking the circles both directions if you haven't already. And then a little more movement here, hugging the knees. I'm going to rock a few times, gently side to side. Back and forth along the length of the spine. This one in particular massages the spine, helps to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, helps your body to find the rest and digest phase. And coming back down, give the knees again a nice big hug into your chest. And then again, inhale, extend both legs forwards, reach both arms over your head. This time you'll catch a hold of your right wrist with your left fingertips. Index finger and thumb can make a little circle around the wrist. Reach the palm towards the wall above your head. Then as you exhale, gently draw the right hand towards the left side, back side of the room. Try to relax both shoulders down, and you can bend the elbows as much as you need to make this safe for your shoulders. We're trying to keep both shoulder blades on the mat if possible, and okay for the shoulders themselves. No strain on the neck, adjust your head as necessary. And if you're wanting a bit more, take both of your feet towards the front left corner of your mat. Then soften down through your hips, glutes, and thighs. For still more, you can cross your right ankle over the top of your left ankle. You're creating a half moon or banana shape with your body. Deep side body stretch down the right side. We'll be here just a couple more breaths. Move your feet slowly back to center, but take the legs wide so they're about the width of your yoga mat. Now release the arms and now open the arms into a wide T position. This is star pose. So now hold here a couple of breaths to let the shoulders release, hips and legs, maybe a little bit of release for the back. Good. Now inhale, once again, bringing arms overhead. Catch a hold of your left wrist with your right hand this time. Reach the left fingertips towards the wall above your head. And then as you exhale, gently draw the left wrist towards the back right corner. Again, bend the elbows as much as needed to try to soften the shoulders and shoulder blades back to the floor. For more, move both feet to the front right corner of your mat. And still more, left ankle over the top of right. Soften down from the hips, glutes and thighs, shoulders and head. Adjust the neck as needed so it feels comfortable and not strained. We'll be here a couple more breaths. Good. Bring your left leg back to the outer left corner of your mat, both feet nice and wide. Arms once more are going to stretch out into a wide T position, back into your star pose. Taking a moment here, just allowing the shoulders to relax, especially if that last pose was a little tough on them. Good. Now slowly start to bring your legs back towards the center of your mat. Take a big breath in. And now as you exhale, once again, we're going to bring your right knee up into your chest. This time, you'll take your hands, either interlacing your fingers or stacking your palms behind your knee. So think about palm against palm. And then we're going to exhale, pressing the calf into the hands until you feel the palms press into the hamstring. So we're kind of like creating a little tourniquet by pressing the calf into the hands. And then you'll slowly inhale and just release that pressure by lifting the calf a couple inches. I'm going to do that 3 more times. As you exhale, pressing your calf into your palms, pressing the knee into the chest, the palms into the thigh. Inhale to release. And then again, exhale, little pressure, pressing calf into hands, hands into hamstring. 1 more time, inhale. And exhale. Now the hands will stay in the same position with your knee bent. Point your toes, so you're elongating the front of your ankle. With the toes pointed, start to extend your right leg any amount up towards the ceiling. Does not have to go all the way straight. Listen to your knee. You might feel a little shake in the hips or the hamstrings. With your right leg now extended, flex your foot so that you're drawing your toes towards your knee. We're going to hold that flex for a solid 2 breaths. You might feel the leg shake a little bit more. Now with the toes flexed, you're going to slowly re-bend your knee. So what we're doing is a neural floss for your sciatic nerve. From here, once the knee is bent, point your toes. Once the toes are pointed, again, we're going to extend the leg on the inhale. On the exhale, flex your foot, toes to knee. Hold that for 2 breaths. Good. Next, exhale with the foot flexed, rebend your knee. We've got 2 more of those. Point your toes. Inhale, extend your right leg. With the leg extended, flex your foot and hold 2 breaths. Next, exhale with your foot flexed. Slowly bend the knee. 1 more time. Point your toes. Inhale, extend your leg. Exhale, flex the foot, 2 breaths with the foot flexed. Next, exhale, slowly bend the knee back into the chest. Give the knee a hug, a squeeze in, maybe a couple little circles. Feel free to circle your ankle too if you felt a lot of tension in the ankle itself from those 2 movements. And then here, keeping your right knee bent, we're going to bend your left knee and just set your left foot on the mat. Figure 4 on your right side. Now take your right ankle, cross it over the top of the left knee, and let your right knee fall wide. We'll come back here again, so we're not going to take this one much deeper than where we are right now. If you wanted to go slightly deeper, you have a block or a pillow accessible. All you're going to do is move your foot so that it's on top of the pillow or block on the left side, and that'll bring the right shin just a little closer into your chest. We'll take about 4 more breaths here. Good. Slowly uncross, bringing your right knee back into your chest 1 more time. From here, you'll extend your right leg forwards out in front of you, and we'll switch legs. Bring your left knee now into your chest. Interlace or stack your fingers behind your left knee. As you exhale, now press your left calf into your left fingertips so your left palm presses to your hamstring. And then inhale, release that pressure. Exhale, again, pressing calf to knee. Knee draws deeper to the chest from the pressure. And then again, inhale and release. 2 more times. Exhale, pressing the calf into the fingers. Inhale to release. And then again, exhale, bending the knee. Now holding the bend in your knee, find that flex in your left foot. Point in the left foot. So the front of the ankle is elongated. Holding the point in the left foot, start to extend your left leg any amount, reaching toes to the ceiling. Again, don't worry about getting the leg all the way straight. Listen to your body here. Keep the leg extended. Now flex the left foot. So you're drawing your toes towards your knee. Hold that 2 full breaths. With your foot flexed, now slowly bend your left knee back into your chest. Once the knee is bent, point the toes. Inhale, extend your leg. Exhale, flex your foot and hold. Next, exhale with your foot flexed. Bend your knee back into your chest. We have 2 more of these. Point your toes. Inhale, extend your leg. Exhale, flex your foot. 2 breaths. Good. Bottom of your exhale, keep the foot flexed. Bend the knee. One more time. Inhale, point. Extend. Exhale, flex, and hold the flex. Heel reaching to the ceiling. Exhale, bend your knee back into your chest last time. Good. Now here, again, circle out the ankle, wiggle the toes, maybe draw a couple gentle circles with your left knee. And now we'll bend your right knee, setting your right foot on the floor. Take your left ankle, cross it now over the top of your right knee, coming to figure 4 on the left. Again, we will come back to this stretch, take it a little deeper, but for a bit more, all you're going to do is shift your right foot up onto a pillow or a block, lifting the knee slightly. We've got 4 breaths from here. Take your left foot, uncross your legs, set your left foot down. Now as you inhale, drop both knees into your chest. As you exhale, palms back to your knees, hug the knees in deeper. This time as you inhale, extend both of your legs to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, both knees back into the chest. Good. Inhale, extend both legs. Now reach your fingertips to the ceiling like you were a bug on its back. And then exhale, knees into the chest. 3 more of those. Inhale. As you exhale, hug the knees into your chest. Think about pressing your low spine into the floor, so we lengthen the spine. Inhale, extend your legs. Exhale, bend your knees. 1 more time. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Now holding the knees lifted and bent, we're going to shift the knees slightly forward. So you're stacking your knees over the tops of your hips. If you have a pillow, keep it handy. You might use it shortly. Now keeping the knees stacked over your hips, your shins parallel with the floor, you're going to feel your stomach engage, and that's good. That's going to help protect your low back. So think about pressing the low back into the floor and drawing your navel towards your spine. From here, open your arms into a T position. Palms up or palms down for now. Palms down will help you stabilize a little bit more. Palms up, though, is where we're eventually going to land. Take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to shift your knees 2 inches to the right, just until you feel your left hip leave the floor. Hold there for your inhale. Now, as you exhale, bring the hips and knees back to center so both hips are back on the ground. Hold at center for your inhale. As you exhale, we're going to shift 2 to 3 inches to the left. Again, just until you feel your right hip lift. Hold as you inhale. Exhale, come back to center. You're going to stay in that range of motion or increase the range of motion. Next exhale, now shifting the knees even further to the right until your hips start to stack a bit, left on right. Hold there as you inhale. Good, now belly to spine, exhale, shifting knees and hips back to center. Hold center on the inhale. And now exhale, we're going to go further to the left. Hovering the knees still above the floor, but starting to stack the hips. Good, one more time. Next exhale, come to center. Now we're going to go all the way to the right this time. So for here, you're going to let the knees fall all the way to the right until your left hip is stacked. You're in a supine twist. If this is too deep of a twist, you can use that pillow, place it underneath your knees so the knees aren't quite all the way down to the floor, and that can take some of the sensation out of the twist if your back is feeling a little tight. You can also place your pillow between your knees or a block between your knees, and that'll help to stabilize the hips and keep everything a little more squared and stacked as well. If you're wanting a stretch for the neck, let your gaze fall to your left. If that doesn't feel right for your neck, keep the gaze to the ceiling in a neutral position. We'll be here about 4 more breaths. Good, again, draw navel to spine. Use the low belly. As you inhale, you'll slowly bring your knees back to center. Once you come center, try to kind of adjust your hips. And then slowly now on your next exhale, move your knees to your left. Now we're stacking right hip on top of left. And again, if it's a bit too much here to have the knees come all the way to the floor, grab that pillow, place your pillow underneath both knees. You can also place the pillow between the knees or a block between the knees to help to stack the hips. Helps a lot with the low back. Gaze this time will fall to the right fingertips for the stretch in your neck. If that's not safe, gaze is to the ceiling in neutral. Last 2 breaths from here. Again, belly to spine. Using your abdominal area. Inhale, bring your knees back to center. As you feel both hips come back down to the floor, bring both palms back to your kneecaps. Draw some circles with your knees. Massage your low back. Now from here, place both feet on your mat. And what we're going to do is either reach for your pillow. You can use your block as well. We're going to place the pillow or your block underneath your hips or sacrum. We're just looking for a little bit of lift in the hips, a bit of a tilt. If you're wanting more, you can use the block. That'll lift the hips higher. Make sure, though, if you are using the block, that you're on the flat, wide side so that it goes all the way across your sacrum and your sacrum's supported on the block. And then once you have your pillow, you can also use a folded blanket. You really only need about an inch or two of lift in your hips. We're going to bring your right knee up to your chest, left knee, and then coming into just a supported shoulder stand, you're going to extend both of your legs up to the ceiling, pressing the low back into the pillow, the blanket, or the block. So we've just got the hips slightly elevated to allow the blood to flow a little more smoothly. We're elevating the legs above the heart to give the heart a break, and then having the hips up just lets that blood kind of run back into the low back and belly a little more smoothly than if the hips were flat on the floor. I'm going to be here about another 6 to 8 more breaths. And if your low back gets tired here, you can give it a break just by letting the knees bend and then re-extending the legs. Good. You've got a couple more breaths. Good. Now, still keeping your hips elevated, I'm going to draw your knees back into your chest. Keeping your left knee drawn into your chest, we're going to extend the right leg forwards just for a breath or two, letting the right heel come to the mat as deep as you can. We feel a little bit of an extra stretch in the front of the right hip psoas area. One more breath here. Bring your right knee back into your chest. Now, keeping your right knee drawn into your chest, extend the left leg forwards. Bringing the left heel as close to the floor as possible. Now, if possible, we're going to extend both legs forwards, extending the right leg forwards. If this is too much, you're just going to switch legs or even keep the knees slightly bent, heels to the ground. We'll just be here 2 more long. Can be pretty intense depending on how high your hips are lifted. Now, bend one knee, set one foot down on the floor, the other floor. From here, you'll lift the hips enough to remove whatever was underneath, your block, your blanket, your pillow. Set that to the side. Roll your spine down until your hips are nice and flat on the floor. And then bring your knees once more back into your chest. This time we're going to start to work on your hips. Placing your palms on your kneecaps. Take the knees away from each other, out wide. Slightly forwards, around, and back together into your chest. So now drawing some in and out circles with your knees. This one will start to massage more into your hip flexors as we still massage your low back. Couple more here. You can flex, you can point, you can float your feet. Let the feet be in a comfortable position. Take the circles in the other direction now so that we're even. Once you're even in both directions, give your knees one more nice good squeeze. Lower the feet to your mat, still keeping the knees bent. You're going to heel toe your feet out about the width of your yoga mat. Slightly pigeon toe the feet, so heels just maybe half an inch out and the toes half an inch in if accessible. Does not work for everyone's knees, so you might stay parallel. Pigeon-toed helps to widen the low back a bit more. Now we're going to let the knees rest together. So we're in a teepee position. Knees together at the center of your mat, and then feet a little wider than your hips, maybe the width of your yoga mat. From here, let your arms fall into a wide A position, so the shoulders can relax down away from the ears. And then turn your head as far to the right as you can until your right ear and your right cheek come closer to the floor. We'll hold here and think about your left shoulder drawing away from your left ear. So we start to create space in the neck. Bring your head back to center. Pause at center for a breath. And then this time, take your head as far to the left as you can. Bringing the left ear and left cheek towards the floor. Draw your right shoulder away from your right ear. And think about lengthening now the right side. Bring your head back to center slowly. Pause for a breath. And now we're going to start to windshield wiper your knees. Keeping the hands in the same wide A position. Let both of your knees fall to the left. Come back to center. And both of the knees fall to the right. The feet are still wide, so the knees move staggered as they go side to side. One knee coming towards the center of your mat as the other knee goes off the side of your mat. Now, if it's comfortable and it causes no dizziness, you're going to start to move your head slowly the opposite direction of your knees. We start to create a passive twist. As your knees go to the right, your gaze will go to the left, and vice versa. Movement is slow to avoid the dizziness. We've got a couple more rounds here. Good. Once you're even, both directions, bring your knees back to center. Return to the teepee position. Gaze back to center. Now we're going to grab opposite elbows across your chest and form a box. Forearms hovering above the chest. Let your forearms start to windshield wiper side to side. Now we'll start to wake up the shoulders a little bit more. One elbow will come towards the floor as your other arm goes across your body. Take time here to pause as the elbows go side to side so you can feel the stretch in the back of your shoulder. And then same thing, if you're wanting a little more, your head will turn in the opposite direction of the arms. Got a couple more here. Now bring your head back to center. Still grabbing opposite elbows across your chest. We're going to draw circles. Keeping the head at center, start to circle your forearms around the front of your body. So forearms down towards your navel, up towards your forehead. We'll do about 5 to 6 circles one direction and 5 to 6 in the other direction. You're finding a range of motion that's safe for your shoulders. No persistent popping, no pain, no pulling. Once you feel even, take the arms back to center. And now you're going to start to slide the elbows closer to each other until maybe you can stack one elbow on top of the other. And then place your palms on either shoulders and try to walk your fingers back towards the edges of your shoulder blades. So you're giving yourself a really big hug, elbows crossed and stacked, palms to shoulder, shoulder blades. Think about the elbows lifting slightly towards the ceiling. You'll feel a deeper stretch at the back of the shoulders. Just make sure that's safe for your shoulders. For more, imagine the fingertips were spreading the shoulder blades apart until you actually feel your shoulders lifting from the floor. Take a deep breath in, filling from the back side of your body, rib cage, shoulders, and shoulder blades. Long breath out. One more inhale. As you exhale, release the shoulders and shoulder blades to the floor. As you inhale, slide your arms back into the box. And as you come back to the box, you're going to switch the cross so you have a different arm on top. A couple windshield wipers side to side. And then again, holding the arms at center. Now we're going to cross the other arm over the top. Bringing the elbows to cross at center, palms to shoulders, walking the fingers back towards the edges of the shoulder blades, lifting the elbows slightly towards the ceiling as comfortable for your shoulders. Big inhale, imagining the palms lifting the shoulder blades from the floor. Exhale, holding there. Take one more big breath, breathing into the back of the rib cage, heart, shoulders. As you exhale, shoulders, shoulder blades return to the floor. This time as you exhale, we're going to uncross the arms, let them fall out wide. You can take a cactus position, bending the elbows at a 90, like a goalpost, letting the backs of the hands rest to the floor above your head. If that is not safe for your shoulders, come into a T position, extending the arms fully out to the sides. From here, we're going to let your knees start to move to the right in that same staggered position so that your right knee goes off the edge of your mat. Your left knee comes center. You should feel a bit more of a stretch in the front of the left hip, psoas area. For more, if it's safe for your knees, you're going to pick up your right heel, place it over the top of your left knee, and let the weight of your right leg draw the left knee closer to the floor. You can also place a block underneath your left knee or a pillow underneath both knees for support to take a little bit of the strain off of this stretch. For still more, take your left elbow slightly higher than your left shoulder, and you'll feel more lengthening from the armpit to the hip point. We're going to hold here for about 4 to 5 more breaths. Good. Now, if you had your right foot lifted, bring your right foot back down to the mat. Feet are still wide, legs staggered. Inhale, slowly take your knees to center. As they come to center, return to teepee position and use teepee to adjust your hips. So if they shifted out of line with your shoulders, we'll take the hips back to center. Let the low back rest here for a breath or two. And now nice and slowly start to move your knees to your left. Now the left knee will go off the edge of the mat, the right knee towards center. Again, if safe for your knees, your left heel can be placed over the top of the right knee. Just make sure that's okay for the low back, the hips. There can be a lot of sensation on the right side. You can also place a pillow underneath the left knee, underneath the right knee for support. And then for still more, right elbow slightly higher than your right shoulder. We'll add a bit more length down the right side. 2 more breaths here. Now return your left foot to your mat if it was lifted. Slowly inhale your knees to center. Once more, returning to teepee, using teepee to adjust your hips, lengthen your spine. Bring your arms back down towards your wide A position, giving them a little bit of a break as well. Once again, we're going to bring both knees into your chest, but this time take the knees wide. Bring your hands behind the knees, and as you hug your knees in, take them towards the armpits or the outer rib cage. So we get a little more hips here. You can kind of let the hips rock a little side to side. That might feel good on the hips and low back. Couple breaths here. And then once again, keeping the knees bent, we'll place both feet back on the floor. And we're coming back to your figure 4 position. Take a moment, lift your hips, lengthen out your low back, and then return the tailbone back to the floor so the back is flat on the mat. Lift your right knee, cross your right ankle back over your left shin. Know you can hold right here, and this is as far as you need to go. You can also, again, place a pillow or a block underneath your left foot for a little bit more. Or we're going to slowly start to lift your left knee into your chest. Now you can use your hands or not use your hands. So you could just use the power of the hip flexors to draw your left knee to your chest. For a little more, you can thread your right arm between your legs, interlace your fingers behind your left knee or even the front of your left shin, if accessible. You can also extend the left leg upwards to the ceiling if you're wanting a little bit deeper of a stretch, maybe a few flexes and points. We'll be here a couple more breaths. Good. If you have your left leg extended, bend the left knee. If you have your left foot on the floor, you're going to take little tiny rocks side to side. If you have your left knee lifted, you're going to draw little tiny circles with the left knee. So it's not a whole lot of range of motion. And you can even kind of draw little circles with the foot on the ground. It just might feel a little different. Again, making sure the circles go both directions. And then keeping your left knee bent, you're going to return your left foot to the floor. Once the left foot is on the floor, I'm going to take the arms back out into cactus or YT position. And we're going to take this figure 4 to your left, so fallen figure 4. Slowly let your knees and hips move to the left until the sole of your right foot comes to the ground on the left side of your mat. Your right shin will still be mostly perpendicular to the floor, the knee lifting to the ceiling. For a bit more, press the right ankle against the left knee and use that resistance to move the right knee towards the front right corner of your mat, away from your body. You'll feel that deeper in the inner right hip area. Again, for a little bit more, we're going to take the right elbow slightly higher than your right shoulder, and again, that's going to create a bit more length down the right side. If your right foot doesn't quite reach the mat, that pillow can be placed under your right foot to bring that floor up to you, make it a bit more accessible and comfortable as well. We've got a few more breaths here. Keep your left foot grounded to the floor, belly to spine. Inhale, bring your knees back to center in your figure four. Adjust the left foot, adjust your hips, and then uncross, set your right foot down. From here, wherever the right foot lands, we're just going to take a couple soft windshield wipers of your knees side to side. And then knees back to center. Again, press down into the feet. Lift the hips just slightly. And then lengthen out your spine. And roll your hips back down to the floor until your hips and low back are nice and flat on the ground. From here, draw the left knee towards the chest. And then cross your left ankle over your right knee, figure four on your left side. Again, you can stay right here. You don't have to go any further. You can place a block or a pillow under the right foot for a bit more. For still more, draw the right knee into your chest. Again, you can use your hands or not use your hands. You can interlace the fingers behind the knee or in front of your right shin. If you're wanting more, you can extend your right leg to the ceiling. That's going to draw the left shin closer to your chest, but also help stretch the right hamstring as well. Maybe some flexes and points, circles of the right ankle. We've got a few more breaths here. And now rebend your right knee back into your chest if your leg was extended. Again, if you have your right knee lifted, we're going to draw little tiny circles. If you had your right foot on the ground, little tiny rocks side to side, or even circular motions, even if it doesn't feel like it's a full circle. A few circles one direction and a few circles the other direction. And now keeping the bend in your right knee, bring your right foot back down to the floor. Check that your hips feel even. Open your arms to a cactus or T. And now fall your figure four slowly to the right. So as the legs go right, you're going to bring the sole of your left foot to the floor. Left shin towards perpendicular to the floor itself. Left knee lifting to the ceiling. For more, press your left ankle against your right thigh or knee and think about pressing the left knee towards the front left corner of your mat. Shift the left elbow slightly higher to the shoulder to lengthen down the left side. And we'll hold here about another 5 or 6 breaths. Good. Belly to spine, press into your right foot. Inhale, slowly bring your knees back to center. Once both hips return to the floor, adjust, uncross, set the left leg down. Bring your arms into a comfortable position and let the knees, once again, windshield wiper slowly side to side. This time it doesn't matter if the feet are wide or more together. Let it feel good. Just a bit of movement for your low back and hips. From here, extend your legs forwards. Once again, we're going to take a full body stretch. Reach your arms over your head. Let the low back lift from the mat. Really stretch from fingers to toes. Let your belly expand. Take one more big breath. As you exhale, slowly lower the low spine to the floor. One more time, we're going to bend your knees. Bring your knees into your chest. And once again, take your hands behind both the knees and take the knees wider than your rib cage towards your armpits. Good. Keep hugging the knees down towards the floor, and now flex your feet to the ceiling. It's as if you are squatting on the ceiling. We're in happy baby. You can stay right here. If you want to move a little deeper, instead of having your hands behind your knees, walk them up to your ankles, and then use the hands to press the knees towards the mat outside the armpits. For still more, you're going to reach for the outer edges of your feet, but your elbows and forearms will be on the inside of your knees. And then again, you'll press the feet down to press the knees down. From here, try to lengthen your low spine to the floor. Notice if the tailbone wants to curl up. It's pretty common if you have a tighter low back. But over time, we're trying to get the back as flat to the floor as possible, using the lower abdominals, pressing the navel down. If it feels good, you can rock your happy baby side to side, little shimmy of the hips. If movement doesn't feel good, find stillness and open the hips. We'll be here just a couple more breaths. As this pose starts to get a bit more comfortable, think about reaching your heels even further upwards towards the ceiling. And so until you start to feel your heels move back towards the crown of your head. That'll deepen the stretch just a bit more for the hips. From here, we're going to come to cobbler's pose. So you'll keep your knees lifted. Start to let the feet come inwards towards each other. And we're going to try to bring the soles of your feet together like butterfly pose. Hands could stay on the outer edges of the feet if accessible. They can also move to your knees or your shins as well. To deepen this pose, start to draw your heels down towards the midline of your body as you continue to use that resistance to press the knees outwards towards the side of your mat. Again, you could kind of rock the hips a little side to side, moving the knees towards shoulders, side to side. If you're still wanting a bit more, use your abdominal strength to lift your head and shoulders, and you're going to draw your forehead towards your toes. If that's too much for your neck, keep your head down and work the stretch from the bottom ankle. Couple more breaths here. Allow the resistance to start to release so the knees can start to come inwards towards each other. From there, you'll move the hands back to your kneecaps. And once again, we're going to draw those out and in circles. Taking the knees around the hip flexors. Just giving those hip flexors one more massage. And back the other way. Now from here, if you had your pillow under your knees at the beginning of class, feel free to reach for that pillow one more time. Slide that pillow underneath you, set your feet down on the floor, Maybe you take a couple final windshield wipers, one last release for the hips and low back. Start to allow your arms to fall out wide. A T position. Allowing the palms to rotate upwards so nothing is actually touching the fingertips. And then as comfortable, slowly extend the legs forwards out in front of you. Know that you can always keep your knees bent if that's safer for your low back. Taking the feet a little wider, maybe the width of the yoga mat will also help with the low back. Allow your feet to fall out wide and heavy so your toes can spread. Take any little adjustments here that feel needed, maybe pressing into the back of your head, adjusting the shoulders, pressing into the back of the shoulders to adjust the low back. Take a deep breath in through your nose. As you exhale, let the lips lightly part, the teeth part, and take a long, soft, gentle breath out of the mouth. Do that a couple more times, settling into this space, eventually settling into stillness. After a few breaths, allow your lips to seal lightly enough that your teeth can still part. Allow your tongue to fall from the roof of your mouth. Allow your palms to fall heavy and open, maybe feeling the air gliding across the palms, wrists, and any bare areas of skin. Soften toes until maybe you can feel the air glide between each toe. Soften the arches of your feet and heels, letting your feet sink deeper into the floor beneath you. Soften your ankles, calves, and shins. Soften your knees and thighs, feeling them rest heavier on whatever support is beneath them. Soften your glutes, feeling the pelvis open and spread, your hips getting heavier onto the floor. Soften through the length of your spine, from tail to the base of your neck. Soften your belly, allowing it to fully expand like a balloon. Feeling the gentle release of the breath as the navel draws to the back of the spine. Soften your rib cage, feeling the back ribs sinking deeper into the floor as the shoulder blades widen and spread. Soften your collarbones, allowing the shoulders to relax back. Soften your upper arms, elbows, forearms, and wrists. Soften your hands, allowing the backs of the hands to get heavier, the fingertips to curl. Soften your neck, your throat, and jaw. Soften your inner ears, opening them to all sound without the need to focus on any one sound. Soften your cheekbones, nose, and eyelids. Soften your eyebrows and the space across your forehead. Soften the skin across your scalp and all the way down to the base of your skull. Soften your breath until you can barely hear yourself breathe. And then within this space of stillness, find your heartbeat. And for the next few moments, rest here, feeling its constant rhythm, its strength, its power. Let your awareness slowly drift back down to your toes. And slowly start to bring gentle movements back into your feet. Wiggling toes, letting the feet sway side to side, circling your ankles. Bring your awareness back to your hands, letting the thumbs glide across the fingertips, stretching the fingers long, curling your hands into fists. With your next inhale, stretch once more from fingers to toes, as if you were just waking in the morning. With an exhale, one last time, bring your knees up into your chest, giving them a final hug. A couple rocks side to side, massaging once more into your back. And then slowly roll your body to one side, right or left. Taking a couple more breaths here just to rest. Keeping your head heavy, your gaze soft, or even your eyes closed. Begin to slowly press yourself up to seated. Any comfortable seated position. Sitting tall, drawing your shoulders away from your ears, we'll take one final breath together. Let your palms rest upwards on your knees. Take a deep breath in and a complete breath out. Bring your palms together at the center of your chest. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.